to mechanize their farms, and not only that, they gave them zero interest loans in order to maintain their farms. And not only that, and the list goes on. I can keep going on, take the whole speech, right? But Martin told us everything they did.
I'm listening. I gotta get back to work. These motherfuckers then walked out here looking for this damn trailer. Y'all know I'm early.
Yeah. But look, I'm gonna let one more person come up before I cut off because I got I'm
Right. I'm gonna get back with you.
okay.
I appreciate you letting me on here.
I ain't
But
no problem.
you just answered what I was gonna ask you. The last thing I was gonna say. How long is this gonna take? I hope I get to see it. But if I don't, I'm gonna come back and see it.
The
Cause
process
I'm
is processing.
here for a reason.
The process is processing.
We here though.
Yeah.
We here though. And shed fear every day. That shit ain't real. It's false evidence appearing real. It's in
Yeah.
your mind. And then if you know this ain't your first life, what the fuck is you scared for? Do it. Do everything you always wanted to do. Play the piano, whatever it is. You feel me? But I love you, Rod. Thank you. I
All right,
appreciate you.
Stevie. I'll talk to
Hey,
you later.
you let me know this shit real for real. Because all day what I've been on thinking and then to talk to you and I'm about to get off. It's the 4th family reunion time. You told you about my granny, right?
Say it again.
You remember what I told you about my grandma?
I think so.
What my granddad did?
Wait a minute. I don't know. That might be. I, I remember you telling me something about your grandma. I can't remember exactly what it was.
And my granddad killed my grandma on the 4th of July. We have our family reunion every 4th of July.
Oh yeah. I do remember that story.
Yeah, that was a while ago, though. Because I've been trying to
Mm,
catch you ever since.
yeah.
But
All
okay,
right,
Rod.
Stevie. Let me take somebody else up before I wrap it up.
I ain't leaving. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, they took off my request down. I want Kelly. You still in there, Kelly? Well, I guess that's it. I got a question over here. Let me see what the question is. Um, okay. So whoever was in that was waiting to come up, Instagram took y'all down. I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. But I'm gonna wrap this up. It was a pleasure for y'all to sit here and listen to me babbling. Well, hopefully we all had a chance to learn something. And uh, Sarkis, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Say they had a book they wanted to share. I was gonna try to pull them up, but they didn't come up. And when I tried to pull them up, so inbox me the book, a picture of the cover or the title of the book or the something, and I pull it up when I get a chance. All right, y'all. It was a pleasure. I appreciate the presence of the people coming to show support. Keep your minds made up. We ain't taking no more. And don't participate in the bullshit. All right. Peace out, fam. For the tribes to be aware, says time stamped archivable format, all recognizable as public notes. You can
Now,
go into it.
somebody I hadn't had a chance to look into it yet, but somebody just left a comment a while back on like another tape, and they said that Donald Trump has signed DC over to the National Guards, just like we said, just like you said, it's going just as planned. So I'm gonna look more into it after the show. But I was seeing if you heard anything about it, about DC being pretty much took over by the National Guards at this point.
Yeah. So I think that happened either last night or today.
Mm-hmm.
And they had been talking about it all week because they using the pretext of the crime rate. But the crime rate down like 14% in DC, so it's another reason he calling the National Guard in. Because the crime rate not gonna go down 14% is a big drop.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in DC.
Mm-hmm.
So then the crime rate dropped 14%. All of a sudden, they need to bring the National Guard in. Make it make sense.
Yeah,
There's something else going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. They shedding down the dirty. They shedding down the dirty parts. They pretty much shedding it down, and pretty first finna have to revamp the whole government based on the tribal government.
Yeah, so that's what the continuity government process is. Mm-hmm. And that's why we had to see the National Guard come out to fill in before they remove police. Mm-hmm. DC got their own police. Mm-hmm. You know, their own prosecutors, just like a regular city. Mm-hmm. But DC is actually an embassy. It's a city state. Mm-hmm. The lands around DC was to map out the embassy. Mm-hmm. Even if they was for us over here, why would they need an embassy? And then if it's an embassy, who are they liaison to?
Right. Good question.
Right. Now, it's a secret that's in plain sight. What's the name of the presidential resident?
The Oval Office? Well, his office?
They call it the White House, don't they?
Yeah, the White House.
Okay. Now, the White House is significant because in Spanish, White House is Casablanca.
Morocco. I saw that.
Right? Mm-hmm. So now we're talking about the embassy of Al Morocco. Mm-hmm. Before Morocco. Mm-hmm. Now notice, Noble Drali show us who's saying they paperwork. And he said that it was the Saudi Prince Aziz. Remember? You got a picture of him in the Circle 7. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? So if he's the Sultan of Morocco, but he's a Saudi prince. Right? Because he was under King Faisal. So he was the prince under King Faisal, and he's the one signing the paperwork for the Federal Reserve currency and all of those treaties. So Noble Drew Ali gonna tell us who behind it. He ain't just tell us, he showed us his picture. Mm-hmm. Right? This tell us what family is involved. Right? So this take us back to the Iranian bloodlines. Mm-hmm. What we call in the Assyrian bloodlines. Mm-hmm. The Assyrians were spin-offs of Sumerians. Mm-hmm. Right? Then from the Syrians and the Sumerians, you get the Persians. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. All these are post-Babylonian developments rising up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And Babylon is where they laid down the law. Mm-hmm. What was the law? Do you remember?
The Code of Hammurabi?
Yeah, the Code of Hammurabi.
Yeah.
There's a song that came out in the 80s, and in the song it say, they laid down the law in Mesopotamia. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So they telling us in the music. Right? Also, they telling us about the transfer of power comes with the change of the names. How do we know this? Because Istanbul becomes Constantinople because Constantine conquered Istanbul. Mm-hmm. Right? Now we talking the fall of the Ottomans to the Romans. Mm-hmm. Right? So the Ottomans and the Romans, the founding people, who we call the Etruscans, coming into Tuscany, Italy, and the Ottomans, the Byzantine kings, them the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at where they situated, they are both on either side of what's called the Black and Caspian Sea.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come out of the so-called Middle East, that's the newest part of the earth, y'all, the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
We don't got no middle north, we don't got no middle south, we don't got no middle west, but we got a Middle East. Boy, the human beings has came up with the most extravagant, condensed piece of the buffoonery I ever seen in my life. We got a Middle East. Anyway, so the migration of the so-called Jews, the Judeans, the so-called children of Abraham, right? The children of Moses. They allegedly went north, fleeing the persecution of the Babylonians after the 400-year Babylonian captivity.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of that, they built, or they took with them, several major writings that they rabbis took. These writings is called the Talmud and the Mishnah.
Mm-hmm.
But they also brought something called the Sephirah. But it was orally passed down.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, they wrote it down because the oral tradition had to be stomped out in order, unless we start using it to our advantage and override their paperwork system.
Mm.
So they took the Talmud and the Mishnah, and then they wrote the book of the law. What's the Hebrew word for law?
Torah.
Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they tell us that the Torah or the law was given to who?
Moses.
Let's go to New Ideas Studies. You remember Bobby asked the question, he was like, what book was Abraham following if he was following the law?
Yeah.
If it hadn't been given until Moses came.
Right.
And then he said, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And then he pulled up the verse of Genesis and said that Abraham was an upright man and he followed the law. Then he went to the Hebrew to show you that the word law that Abraham followed was called Torah. Right?
Right.
Now, the concealed code in that is Ta-Ra for Torah. It's a play on words. Ta means land in Kemetic. Ra means God. So the land is the law of the land. That's the law of God for humans, not the law of the sea. The law of the sea was written for people that was called Dogones or Dogon. The tribes of the Dogon, right, who followed the law of the Nomos.
You know, Nomos meant translated to law too. To law. Mm-hmm. The word Nomos. Yeah.
So they got different kinds of law depending on the aim and objective of the purveyor of the law.
Mm-hmm.
What do I mean purveyor? The purveyor of the law is the one who is writing the law. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, who are the lawgivers in the Old Testament?
The lawgivers, I mean, like for God, you want to go like you want to get
the tribe. What tribe was lawgivers?
The Levites.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Moses. And the tribe of Judah was the judges.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention, because this is the connection to the Hebrew link to ancient Babylon using the Torah, Mishnah, and Talmud systems being for the control of the masses of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So they take the law and then they give you what? A levy. The word levy in Hebrew is Levi. all of the value of the letters being the same, right? It's Levi. Levy and Levi is the same word, right? Well, in law, if they wage a levy, that establishes a lien, right? In order to get from under the lien, they have to tie you to something called a contract. Time mean against, track mean land. And what Bible say? And Abraham was talking a lot about a lot of land, right? And so when Abraham and Lot had their conversation, Lot went in unto Sodom.
Right.
Right? And Abraham studied, settled in the plains of Mamre. It was some direction from Tyre and Sidon. Right? So now they telling us this stuff for a reason, and it's showing you a travel map. Right? The travel map is showing you the migration of the people that we think are the Jews, right? The black Jews. Before there was any Khazarian or Ashkenazi or Sephardi calling themselves Hebrews, the original people that was referred to as Jews was dark-skinned, woolly-haired people. Otherwise, the Christ, the anointed one, couldn't be confused with them. But in order to confuse us, they whitewashed the image of the one they called the Christ. Now, if you break down the words in red in the New Testament, they're supposed to be the words of one person. But you got two distinct personality types talking at various different times through the words in red, all the way through from Matthew to Revelation. Right? And the best example to see the split in the character of the person talking in the words in red is Matthew chapter 10. Because one talking about whooping ass and taking names, and the other one talking about loving somebody, loving your neighbor, and all that stuff. But it's all in one continuum. If you didn't know it was two people talking, you would be like, damn, that was a quick switch up. That's called a crossover in basketball.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So they hit you with the crossover. Now, also in the same book, they told us that when the son was born, they called his name what?
Jesus?
Nope. That's not what they named
him. Emmanuel.
And why did they name him Emmanuel?
God is with us.
That's what it means. Yeah. We shall name him Emmanuel, for God is with us. Right? How did they start calling him Jesus if his name is Emmanuel? Let that sink for a minute. So they using the story of the holy drama to manipulate your genetic memory, because genetically you know the story of Isis, Horus, and Osiris. In order for God to be born in ancient Kemet, he had to be titled a Heru, an heir to the throne. Right? Heru is heir, you the heir. So the play on words, when you change it through the languages, confuses what they call profane. But the initiate catches all things. But there was a problem. The initiates seen it, but they didn't know what they was looking at. The ones who initiated the initiates thought they knew what they was looking at, but they didn't understand who it was talking about. Right? So now you got initiator initiating an initiate, then they're one of them don't know who they talking about or what they talking about. Then in the same book, they tell you, be careful of the blind leading the blind. Why? Lest ye all fall into a ditch. Right? So the remedy is to let this man be in you, which was in Christos, Iestos, right? The holy Isis. Christos means anointed. Isos in Greek means Isis, right? Now, there's a story in Greek mythology contemporary with the crucifixion story where the daughter of Cleopatra was paraded through the streets before her crucifixion in 30 AD. Now let that sink in for a minute. If Jesus is the pivot point of the calendar, AD, Anno Domini, after death, BC, before Christ, right? And 33 years is the estimated number of years that they say he lived. So from 0 to 33 is the number of years that the so-called Christ supposed to be here. The irony of it is back then we understood that the Bible that they call the New Testament is a Greek writing by Josephus Flavius, who had wrote a 21-part play for the I think it was the Medici family that he worked for. No, the Flavian family. Because his name was Josephus Flavius. He changed his name to Josephus Flavius. Right? He is the first century Jewish historian of the Flavian house. Right? Okay, now, contemporary with him, there is a occult philosopher, and his name is Origen, or Origin of Assisi. Origen is referred to as the first century prophet Origen, because all of his writings is in contemporary times around 30 AD to about 70-something AD with the so-called Christ. So they're using the philosophies of Origen that he got as a Sicarii Jew, right? And the Sicarii Jews is a whole different group of melanated people. This is where you get the character Aesos de Pantera, which is Isis of the Panther. So Jesus of Pantera is what has been translated, but most of us in the 99 percentile never knew that the New Testament was written in Greek. So we accepted the philosophical jargon when they told us that in Hebrew the name was Yahshua, which means our Savior. Right? But it wasn't written in Greek, so the name couldn't have been Yahshua. I mean, it wasn't written in Hebrew, it was written in Greek. So the name wasn't Yahshua. And now, with the aid of modern research capabilities in the church, you got something called a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible. Right? And in the Strong's Concordance, when you look up the name Jesus, it's going to say from the Greek, not the Hebrew. Right. And it's going to give you a number. And when you go to the number, it's going to give you a pronunciation key or a diction key. And it's going to say Aesos, right? Because Isis in Greek, Isis in Greek is the mother, referred to as the Black Madonna. The Black Madonna is the resident of the shrine being kept by the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine called the Kaaba. Ka means body. Ba means spirit. The body that last held the spirit of the Great Mother, represented by a black cube with a yoni on the corner. If you don't know it's a yoni, then you don't know what a yoni look like. Because this takes you back to what they call Lilith, the first woman to say, I'm not doing that with that. You're not better than me. If anything, we equal, we the same. We got the same amount of power. See, this is where your modern retelling of the story being played out
on social media as a gender dynamic. Because the ones who felt like Lilith, those was the ones that say, I don't believe in going 50-50 in the relationship. 50-50 is sabotage out the gate because now you have to worry about always keeping stuff measured. I can't give you no sex tonight if you don't take out the trash this evening. We balancing the books, right? Now, Lilith philosophy is I'm with you and you with me. I'm all in. So you should be all in. Ain't no secret squirrel shit between me and you because it's me and you against the world.
Right.
I'm not taking sides over you with my parents because when my parents is long gone, it's still gonna be me and you. Right. I'm gonna make you respect my parents like I respect them, and I'm gonna respect your parents like you ought to respect them, even if you don't.
Right.
Right? This is limit philosophy. This is why they can't stand the divine feminine. Okay, now that we all in this together, I'm not taking sides with the kids over you.
Right.
Because when they get grown and get out the house, it's just me and you here. So now I'm all in, you all in. Ain't no such thing as cheating. You know why? We in it together. She gonna be the one say, look at that big booty girl, boy. I bet you love to hit that. You better go holler at her before she get away. Because we all in together. She have no insecurities about nothing that I do. Therefore, I got no insecurities about nothing that she do. Lilith energy. Because they don't want women to be like that. They want women to operate from this mental defect called dementia praecox, commonly referred to as jealousy, which is a mild form of schizophrenia.
In live philosophy. Don't serve no other God. That's that contract. In live philosophy.
Now, the way that we was living before the settler came, if you was capable of taking care of a harem, you don't get to pick them. You can't have it both ways. You can't get to pick them because they got to be able to get along if you leave them home alone and you ain't there to oversee them. But you get to determine if you like them. You get to determine if they not going to cause problems, but you don't get to pick them. Right? So the sisterhood going to put together the harem because they going to go to the bridge club in the attic and they going to be bridging gaps and making political willings and dealings based on who going to be in the harem, who going to get married, who going to marry the king, who going to marry the prince, who going to marry the duke. The women are all figuring that out. And based on the quality of the character of the individual, if he get to be the king over all of that, then he gonna get the first pick of the best women. Mm-hmm. But if he's a low-ranking royal with haven't been doing self-work, so he got bad habits, he might get a whole bunch of chicks, but they're gonna be all community property. But you know what? He ain't gonna even care. Because he look like the man now. Yeah. He got a whole bunch of sluts. He got all of the sluts that was born into the royal house. Because he was a slut too. He was just a man slut. Right? So the energy transfers that's taking place from the sacerdotal seat being restored is making the women start rebuilding their sisterhoods and introducing their husbands into the concept of taking on another wife. Taking on another wife for a couple used to serve more than just sexual pleasure. But because the deviancy of the society has sunk so low, sexual pleasure is the primary cause for most poly relationships. But in a structured family, a poly-structured family, there's no maids, there's no nannies, There's no babysitters. It's all in house. It's all the family. And what you call the head woman of the house, right? You know her because she controls the kitchen,
Right.
right? She get to pick who cooking tonight and who ain't cooking. When we teaching using the kitchen to teach the children how to cook, and when they getting out the way because we got an event coming up, she run the kitchen. Why do she run the kitchen? I bet you couldn't tell me.
That's a good question, bro.
They got something. They got something called psychology of living space, and they tell you that each one of the rooms in the house has a function and a purpose energetically that affects the psychology. The heart of the home is the kitchen. The lady of the house is the one who put the love in the heart of the home, so she controls the kitchen. All of the ones who love her and understand what's going on and got mutual respect support the energy. So when she cooking, it look like they doing a ballet dance to pass me the onions, cut up these potatoes, stir that pot of pasta over there without ever saying a word. Everybody know what they doing no matter where they at in the kitchen. A well-oiled machine of sisters. But they ain't blood sisters. Sometimes they is, but because some of them bring their sister in because I want for my sister what I want for myself. So if I'm going to have the best, I want my sister to have the best and we can share. Mm-hmm. But we was taught differently. We was taught by miserly mentalities to hoard everything we got. And rugged individualism drove us to be destructively selfish.
Damn. Hey, Rod.
I'm on one tonight, ain't I?
Man, Rod, you killing it. Man, Rod, you cracking heads and twisting caps back. And then, like, then you going right along with the top. Like, you stand, like, what you saying, it goes along with the topic. It's all part of the moral construct of the paradigm, which is based on the mother's thought. Now, this brings me to my next question. Albert Pike put out Morals versus Dogma, and we know that the Masons, and they deal with the mother and son they actually worship the mother son concept, the Pope, everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So based on the morals and dogma that he put out, what is the difference between moral and dogma, and why would he emphasize the difference?
Well, it's not morals versus dogma, it's morals and dogma. Okay, right now there's tribes that don't have any contact with the modern world. They don't know what you mean when you say morals. It doesn't apply to their society, right? Morals is a system of do-right established by religious and governmental entities to hold you to what they call a level of respect. So they say you got to have a good moral standing, a good moral compass. That compass is a Masonic tool, by the way, right? And then if you have a good moral compass, then from that moral compass, you know how to treat people without abusing and misusing them. Your moral compass is the foundation of your be good now so you don't go to hell later. But what better difference do it make if you in hell now and you trying to avoid hell later? So you endure the hell while you here, trying to avoid going to hell when you die. That don't make sense.
That's funny. So based on the 42 negative confessions, and we know that I have reason to believe that goes back before it predates all of the Jewish religion, all of the major three religions. And could you go in a little bit on that concept of what Tahuti and Anubis, everybody in that Papyrus was trying to get over, like as far as were they trying to send us a message of, hey, you gonna have to, this is a symbolical ritual that happens when you pass to get out of here. Like you can't just be your heart. You can't go against these rules and think that it's all good.
Okay, first, in order for you to understand that, Hal, you got to understand this. Hieroglyphic pictographic writing out of Kemetic priests was not written for the world. I'm going to let that pause for a second. The painting on the walls that tell stories in pictographic format referred to as hieroglyphics was not written for all of the people in the world. That's the first thing you got to understand.
I can believe it.
Okay, it wasn't even written for all of the people in that community. First of all, in order to be taught to read hieroglyphics, you had to be either a priest or a blood family member to the head of the house that they call today Pharaoh. Right? Otherwise, they didn't teach you how to read it because it didn't have nothing to do with the people that was peasantry. It only had something to do with the families of the royal house, and they taught the ones that was royalty how to read and write. Only the royalty and the priesthood used to know how to read and write. Only them. Commoners didn't know how to read and write. They barely knew how to count to 10.
Wow.
Because ignorance makes you controllable. Ignorance makes you controllable. The less stuff you know, the more controllable you are, and the more beholden you are to the one with the knowledge.
Okay.
So they tell us knowledge is power. Knowledge is king. The king spit the fire. The fire is the symbolic representation of the truth coming out the mouth of the king. Right? Heavy is the head to wear the crown, therefore he got to be physically fit. You remember when Baba did the procession of Osiris?
Yeah.
Do you know why they used to do that? That was like the coronation exercise for the pharaoh. Every so often they'd have to do.
Yeah, they call it. Is it part of that same festival? Like where you gotta show that you fit be pharaoh and show that like they do like this run. They do like it's like kind of like a Olympics, like something like not like a Olymp, but like like a Olympics really. Like every
it was a pharaonic fitness test.
Yeah.
Are you fit to rule physically?
Yeah.
Run the gauntlet.
Yeah.
It's a labyrinth.
Yeah.
The word labyrinth means maze and is commonly used by Zionists to represent the maze of control that they have being concealed so well that if you try to figure it out, you get trapped in the maze, the labyrinth. And that's why one of the most critically acclaimed books on the assassination attempt of Tupac Shakur is called Labyrinth, or L.A. Labyrinth, because of the razzle dazzle play that took place in Vegas.
Hey, my next question. I got a list right here. Let me get my list ready. I ain't even asked no questions off my list yet. All right. Oh yeah, it says okay, all right. Some people, because we're dealing with moral constructs here. Some people say they got no shame in their game. Like that. Whatever they do, that's what they do. Like I used to hear old school say, "Oh, what this?" Like that. I drank my my little bumpy face. That's what they call gin down there where I'm from. I drank my little bumpy face. And I don't bother nobody, but ain't no shame in my game. What do you think about like that people that do stuff that the other stuff to other people they might not like, they might consider it as evil, but the person they ain't bothering nobody. So like they doing what they do. They may be gay, whatever the case may be, alcoholic, whatever.
So the term "ain't no shame in my game" means literally this. if I like cheesecake, I'm not gonna keep it a secret. I like cheesecake. I ain't gotta hide that from nobody, right? If I'm Pan African, I don't have no problem telling somebody I'm Pan African. Ain't no shame in my game. Anything I do, I can stand on that. Anything I tell you, I can stand on what I said. I'm not gonna say nothing behind your back. I ain't man enough to say to your face. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no shame in my game. My game's game tight, solid, like a four-corner hustler, solid oak. And the reason why they tell people that is for people that say trying to shame them for something that they do, like smoking weed, right? And then they turn around, their response is, "Ain't no shame in my game. I smoke a blunt in the White House," right? So that is part also of moralism, because if you have to do something that you're ashamed of, that's telling you right there, don't do it.
Right. Go ahead.
So biblically speaking, the way it comes up in the writings of Paul is no, it's in one of the four gospels. It say, "Prepare not what you would say before the magistrate, for at that very moment the Holy Ghost will rise up and speak through you." Right? In the book of Paul, in the writings of Paul, it said a little different. It say that how did it go? I can't remember. Slipped my mind that quick. But what it's telling you is, let your yes be yes, your no be no. Stand on what you stand on. Right? And if you believe it, you shouldn't have any shame in it. Oh, that's what Paul said. That self-accusing spirit will rise up and condemn you. What Paul wrote. The self-accusing spirit is the inner deity of the self that already know that this whole church fiasco, mosque fiasco, synagogue fiasco, it goes we have to force ourselves to believe it. And once we do that, because we successfully convinced ourselves to accept a lie that we knew was a lie, now we have to keep up a false image of moralism to prove that we stand on what we saying we stand on, when we forced ourselves to accept that lie as the truth.
Hey, Rod.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question that I got for you. So it brings up the heart. Now I hear people, and it is dealing with morals too. Now my grandma used to always say that when a drunk man will tell you the truth, because out of the issue of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so what's your take on that? Like dealing with morals and that liquor make a guy tell you straight up he don't give a dang how you feel. He'll tell
right.
you.
So they'll have you under the false impression that the Indians over here didn't know nothing about alcohol, because some of the tribes have a enzyme missing in their brain from that when they drink alcohol, they hooked. They can't properly metabolize the alcohol, and when they become alcoholics, it rapidly deteriorates their physiology and their neurology. Now, the reason why they said that is because some of the tribes that's intolerant to alcohol was brought over here, and if they're gonna replace us, they have to tell the story. But if you watch Nori Drink Champs, that was how we used to put people in the hot seat. Sit them around with the elders, especially the Mississippians, them big Tookie dudes, them chiefs, them Tuscaloosa dudes, them chiefs, right? They would sit there and drink with you because they had high tolerance. And if people tell you we didn't have alcohol before the Europeans came, ask them what was the alcohol enemas the Mayans used to take. Ask them about that. right? Because the alcohol enema is to get you drunk as fast as possible, as sloppy as you can get.
A shot, like a shot.
Yeah. But you was only sending it up the wrong end because your anus and your lower intestine absorb alcohol faster than your mouth and your upper intestine. You had to build up a tolerance for alcohol to withstand the drink champs without them tricking you out of the information. Also, the sweat lodges in marijuana. You can't smoke marijuana with certain chiefs and lie to them because you're going to tell on yourself. It's going to naturally make you tell on yourself. It's going to come out. And that's why they wouldn't negotiate with most of the settlers that didn't smoke the peace pipe with them, because they couldn't get past that human lie detector once they did.
Hey, so that brings me to my next question, Rod. I noticed like a lot of cats when we used to be back in the day, when they used to be like putting plays on people, taking them out. They can't hold it. They can't hold, like, you got very few cats that can go do a cat and come back, sit down, drink a cup of coffee, and play like ain't nothing happened. Usually, the spirit of that person, especially if you killed them out of a bad, most people go tell somebody. A lot of people end up coming to, even if they don't tell the police, they usually tell somebody they close to. Hey man, I had to go on here and do what I had to do. Why is that? Why do they have to confess that crime? Why do a lot of murderers confess?
Because once you confess, you free it from locking into your conscience. The same self-accusing spirit that tells you it was wrong to kill that man because you was sleeping with his wife and he caught you, is the same spirit that's going to make you tell somebody, because you're going to hold yourself accountable one way or another. That self-accusing spirit, this is what the confessional was for. The confessional of the Catholic Church was created for the soldiers coming back from war to tell the priests all of the dirt they did during the time of war. How many women did you rape? How many children did you kill? How many men did you sodomize? How many of them did you decapitate? Right? That was the purpose of the confessional. Because a long time ago, the Catholic Church